Hello, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I was going to go live in the car today, but it started storming, started raining. Actually, let me back up. I was thinking about doing my live outside, but then I saw we're under storm watch or whatever, and I'm like, well, I'll just do it in the car. But then it started raining, and it's too warm to sit in the car with the windows up. So I decided, here I am. Well, hi, Mel. That's fine. Hi, Stephanie and Joyce. Joyce, I have good news for you, sort of. Depending, well, I'll message you later. But yes, thank you guys for coming. You guys are watching this on the rerun. You can play the whole thing. That would help me, even if you don't have time, if you sometime you I should maybe make just a playlist. Oh, just a minute. Make a playlist for people. Well, no, that wouldn't work either. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you're watching this on the replay, it will always be here unless I say something very bad and am so ashamed that I go and take it down, which I don't plan on doing that. But I'm just saying. I am I'm starting a new project. Oh, I did get something today. I'll be making a video of it shortly because I do want to use it. But yeah, I will do that. But I'm thinking about making a baby blanket. I'm not sure which stitch I want to use. I started this stitch, the zigzag, and it's fine, but I do not like the holes that much. I'd rather have it solid, and I know it's a little bit more to it if I decide to do one that's solid and it doesn't but this is a lot simpler, or I started undoing this and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it yet, just in case I decide to do this stitch. Actually, I might, but it's this stitch. Actually, I have one that is, you can see better, I think. I have done it a little bit more. It's kind of puffy. Okay, it's starting, but I'm not sure which stitch I want to use for the baby blanket. So if you guys can help me decide, that would be helpful. I'll just have to think about that. But yeah, so we're getting rain, and I'm so thankful. Here where we live, in our neck of woods, well, we're on a co-op of electric, so the co-op members have to go and read their own meters. And you should do it every month. I tried to do it every month, but it doesn't always happen. But one time, and why I don't do it, it's because our north of our house, we go out and we have to walk around to the pole. And since it's on the north side of the house, it doesn't drain as well as it does if it would be on the south or east or west. Well, if it had better drainage, it probably would drain better too, but it's always more apt to be muddy. So I went this morning, or after my shower, I went out and read the meter. So it was a little bit soft, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, I didn't sink down to China. Hey, Joyce, you mean this baby shower that I showed, or another one? Do you have not recipe, pattern for it, or a YouTube channel I could go learn of it? But yeah, one time I didn't go read it, and during the winter it's harder too, because it's a little harder, especially if there's snow and stuff. And after, I think, 3 months, they do send somebody else out to read it, but it's like $15 for them to come and read it. And when I saw that, I'm like, I'm never going to let them come out and read it again, because I can save $15 by going out. So yeah, I'm glad I went and got that done today. That's off the list. Hi, Mom. How are you doing? Mom, I want to make a baby blanket, but I'm not sure what stitch I want to use. Okay, that would be helpful. I'm thinking about a zigzag stitch. This is real easy, but I don't like the holes that much. Or was thinking about doing these shells as kind of 3D shells, but I'm not sure which I want to use. So yeah, Joyce, if you could do that, that would be good. I might not use it, but I might love it. I like a simple one, but I don't know. But Mom, are you getting rain? I know they're a little more south than we live, but sometimes we get rain and she doesn't, but I think she is getting rain. I was thinking about picking up my phone and checking, see if they're getting rain, but of course I'm using the phone right now. So yeah, then yesterday, well, on the 4th. Oh, I've got to talk about the 4th. Monday night, really, we're getting rain right now. It was thundering and it kind of got dark. But anyways, on the 3rd, a friend of mine sent me a article where it said all Sheetz stations are gonna have, and the Sheetz is a gas station for you guys that don't know. It's in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and a couple other states, but I think it's the original count came from Pennsylvania. But anyways, So they were going to sell gas for $1.776 on the 4th until midnight for Independence Day. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Well, on the 1st, I put $30 in. It brought my tank up to little above half a tank. So I'm like, then Monday, I went and paid bills. And so I did use some. So I'm like, well, that would be neat. And I'm like, but they'll likely sell out quickly. I kind of put it on the back burner. And that morning, I'm like, you know what? $1.77 gas for $1.77.6. That is why at one time it wouldn't have been cheap, but nowadays it is cheap. I asked mom a lot of stuff. I sent her a text and said, is it worth me to run in and try to get that? And Laura was like, said they have that price until it's gone. She said, I would have been there at 8. Well, this was more closer to 9:30, and she said, no, that wouldn't make sense. So I decided I'm going. I went in, and I got toward it, got in the turning lane, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh my word. They were backed up into the turning lane of both, which I was coming from the one direction that you had to use the turning lane, and they have a pretty big parking lot. There were a lot of people waiting in line, and they got in the turning lane. I'm like, well, I have time. If you didn't have time, it wouldn't have been worth it. But then somebody else got behind me, and I started I put my car in neutral and shut the motor off to conserve my gas that I did have. And then I realized my blinker doesn't work. I'm like, well, I better keep my engine running while I'm still on the road. That, yeah, my blinker is working and they know what I'm doing. If cops come through, which cops did come through, and I expect they knew what was going on. And then when I got off the road, I did shut my vehicle down but it took me a little while, but it wasn't, everybody hurried, and I got my Sheets app up for the card that I can get 3% off of that yet, which I got that up that I didn't have to fiddle with that while I'm at the pump. And yeah, people just kind of tried to hurry, but we kept it going. I filled up for $13. It was no over 7 gallons. But I read somewhere else that all right, see ya, Joyce. Have fun with physical therapy. Which I read some places they were having accidents. I don't think that happened at our place, our Sheets, but I don't know. I didn't hear. But then, so I came back home, and then I was looking on Facebook, because I usually don't look at Facebook much. I have it only on my phone. Well, I can look on the computer too, but sometimes it doesn't work as well on the computer. But then I saw more of the Sound of Freedom. I saw that our theater was having it. So I texted Lawrence, asked her if she was going to go. She said, yeah, she's going to go at 7:45. And I'm like, okay, I'll meet you there, because on Tuesdays, our theater all day, which I forgot it, all day have $5 a showing all day. So I'm like, all right, I'll go. And I was like, well, what is Sound of Freedom? And I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a heavy movie, but we did go see it. Guys, if you at all have a way to go see it, go see it. Now, I believe every adult and teenagers should see it. Now, it's not really appropriate for younger children below teenagers, but it's worth going seeing it. I mean, it's mind-blowing. I mean, I knew stuff like this was happening, and the sad part about it, this movie was made 5 years ago. It should have come out 5 years ago, but people have been fighting against it so hard. And if you watch it, you will understand why. And, well, I'm going to say people, I'd say Satan. I mean, yeah, Satan uses people. Anyways, so, yeah. But then that night I read about Ava. She's a 14-year-old girl that she had cancer since, I think she was 9 when they found out she had brain cancer. And she went through all kinds of treatments and stuff. And at one time it looked like she was doing better. But then recently she was at the point where she had to be on oxygen all the time. And she had to be on seizure medication because she was having seizures, and she was not doing that terrible well. Well, on the 4th, they said that she was readmitted to the hospital for a couple of days, that her oxygen isn't doing the best, but they did another MRI, and there's more activity of the cancer where it was in new places. And she was in a clinical study in Georgia, but that was, since that was happening, that she was out of that. And then on the 5th, early yesterday morning, she passed away. She was 14, and she lost her battle, but she had her ultimate healing. I mean, and I feel so bad for the family. I know they are relieved that she's not suffering, but they will miss her so much. And I'm sure they would not want her to suffer anymore, but it's hard. And I have lost a couple brothers, and it's just, and when they're so sick, yeah. But yeah, keep them in your prayers. I think she has 2 brothers, or something like that. And then of course, aunts and uncles. And Dewey and his sister went to school with this girl's mother. I think his sister knew her better than Dewey did, but we know, and I've been following her story for several years now. And yes, Mom would know. She's lost 3. So, yeah. And I know Mom understands because Lester was very sick at the end. And yeah, I mean, I need to learn how to use my words better. But yeah. So, and then about 5 minutes later, I see where somebody else passed away, but she was much older. I mean, I know her sister. I met this woman one time, but she's much older. I mean, she had a full life, and I'm sure I've heard she was maybe sick, but well, good. I think it might have almost stopped here, Mom. But yeah, so it was like bam, bam, and it's like it was just kind of not really overwhelming, but it was just, yeah, anyway, it might have been kind of overwhelming. So, but what is really something, she was born in 2009, and she was Mom. Whoa, I didn't realize that. Ava, she was born in 2009, and I think it was around that time when Dewey's mom passed away. So it's just mind-blowing. It's so true that you never know when your time is up. And yeah. So yeah, I'm have the goats up, and Aaron is doing something with the oh, that's neat. But yeah. Yeah, it was warm. It's 86 there at the farm. It was warm. When I went out to get the reading of the um electric, it was warm. It was like, whoa. So yeah, I was like, I'm not going out, sitting in the car for, to get it. I mean, to do this live. So yeah. Um, so you guys have anything else you guys want to talk to you about, or ask me questions or anything? Okay, Mom. I'll see ya. Yeah, I might cut it off in 30 minutes, in about 6 minutes, because, yeah. Oh, yeah, that night when we got out of the movie theater, Laura and I sat at the parking lot and talked a little bit. I mean, we talk on the phone, but then when we meet each other, we talk too, and we were kind of watching the fireworks off in the distance. I kept hearing it here at our house, but I couldn't. We couldn't see it, but there where we were, we could see it then. So yeah, I will tried to figure out what pattern to use for this baby blanket. I have two different, well, I have more than two skeins, but I decided, instead of pulling it all out, I'm going to decide which I did a little bit on the zigzag, and then whatever I decide to use, I'll pull both of them out, or anyways. I think the shell's pretty well ready to go if I decide to do it. So I smell something. I have ribs in the oven. I think it's about ready. So yeah, it sounds good to me to go at 30 minutes. And I'm going to go eventually have ribs, because I need to kind of make a sauce to put on it, which some I read and said you don't have to have barbecue sauce on the ribs if it's really good, but I think it would still be good to have some stuff in it. So yeah, well, guys, thank you for coming. Don't forget to hit the like button or the thumbs up or thumbs down. I guess it's thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, dislike, whatever. I don't care which you do. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But yeah. See ya, Mel. Have a great day. And I'll sign off, and thanks for coming. And be happy, stay happy. And I'm not going to say stay happy but stay joyful. I mean, sometimes you just can't help except be unhappy for a little bit. Our emotions can go, ooh. You too, Stephanie. Thanks. You guys have a wonderful night. Bye.